Wait, so your dad was the pilot who rescued Klein, Chrissy, and the princess those many years ago? Why didn't you address that earlier?
Don't know. It just came to mind is all. My father, Captain Vorontsov, was devoted to serving the crown and was a great friend to the royal family and their retainers. It was a simple plan to carry them to safety first, then come for his family next. However, this happened.
Alright. So far, so good. I got the princess and her retainers to safety. Now to get the wife and kid. No. Those monsters are shooting missiles at the plane.
And so Captain Vorontsov had to make the rash decision and jump thousands of feet above the air to land to safety before missiles subsequently detonated his plane to smithereens. And just barely in the nick of time too. Just moments before they caught up to him. He landed in the heart of El Grunto, fighting to figure out what to do next in this sticky situation he found himself into, trying to get back to his family. Then afterwards, he had to lay low with his heap of undead zombies, trying to blend into the crowd and mask his scent before they eventually got up to him. For a time it wasn't so bad, until otherwise it was shown that he was being followed all the while from the beginning. They smelled human flesh miles away. Right when he thought he was in the safe zone, they showed themselves. It was a pseudo, in fact, that somehow gained the ability to control zombies and other lesser creatures to do his bidding. But that didn't stop him. Captain Vorontsov figured out that if he was going to go down, he was going to go down fighting tooth and nail against these hordes and legions of zombies and lesser creatures that they had surrounding him. He fought tooth and nail to his very last bullet, and eventually ended up turning out to do the most last resort thing and detonate himself before they actually devoured him.
That was truly terrible. If we had any idea how dire the situation really was, we could have taken you all with us too. Words cannot express how guilty and horrible I truly feel about that situation.
Lady Violet, there's no reason for you to feel any guilt about this. My father just misunderstood the situation is all. If you ask me, I still see him as my first hero.
But, I should. If we had brought you with us, you never would have been enslaved by the pseudo of the Mubarak.
I agree, Ike. Both you and your father have my utmost respects. After everything you've seen and experienced, you're still fighting for change. You'd be surprised how many people aren't like that.
And why is that? In my mind, I just can't leave things in that place just as they are.
I agree with Ike. If my home was being overrun by pseudo, who had the ability to control zombies and other lesser monsters, I'd be fighting for change too. Which reminds me of that lesser pseudo I fought back in Iron Ore Village. Contrary to popular belief, that creature somehow had the ability to command zombies and other monsters to fight for him. Not only that, it was also sapient and able to plan, think and scheme on its own when we were told those creatures were instinctual animals. Why is that?
What you heard was true, but that pseudo was an exception. It was probably the same creature that devoured the ancient lich that once roamed El Grunto.
Really? A lich?
Please, allow me to explain. The story goes as followed. On the day Lilith revived her monster minions, there among them was a lich whose goal wasn't to serve Lilith, but his own greed. In order for that to happen, the lich sought to create his own zombie legion, one zombie after another.
Yes, go forth and rise, my puppet.
His ambitions were almost fulfilled until a rogue pseudo attracted to his dark aura came to devour him.
Give me back my soldier.
After his soul jar was broken, the lich turned to ash and the pseudo ate its remnants. Afterwards, the unthinkable took place.
So, this is what sentience feels like. I must obtain more.
That's how that creature obtained such strange powers.
Alright, so to summarize, you believe the same pseudo that devoured the lich and the pseudo from Iron Ore Village are both one and the same.
I don't believe. I know there was the same pseudo. No other creature I've encountered from the place had such a unique power.
Wait, so if that's the case, what happened to your father was because of...
That same pseudo. Yes, you're absolutely right. Not only that, but that was the same pseudo who first enslaved us in Almagist. During those days, we didn't belong to ourselves. Our freedoms lied in the hands of the very monsters who enslaved us.
Rise and shine, slaves. I do hope our accommodations are to your liking. Today, we have a special assignment for you all.
No, where's my father? This wasn't supposed to happen. He was supposed to rescue us.
I'm afraid your father's going to be gone for a very long time. In fact, he's going to be gone forever. I should know because my zombie minions forced him to detonate himself after we shot down his plane. The only thing that remains of him is his pilot helmet, which I will give to you as his next of kin.
You beast. You savage. How could you do something so horrible?
You humans are nothing more than mere insects in my eyes. Your servitude and quintessence are your only redeeming qualities. Pseudo, take this outspoken slave to the mines and force him to work double shifts with no breaks in between, from sunup to sundown.
Oh no! For as long as I could remember, my life consisted of working in the mines, from sunup to sundown. In so much, all the hair on my body turned white after being exposed to all those toxic chemicals in the mines. Through the years, I was forced to work beside many different kinds of people to survive. Then out of nowhere, everything changed when a certain woman took interest in me. I was immediately relocated to a padded cell for her to speak with me in private. That woman was the hero slayer, Noelle.
I guess the rumors about you were true after all. You really are quite the charmer. It's just a crying shame that such a handsome face is rotting behind working in the fields.
I'm sorry. But if you don't mind me asking, who are you? I've never seen anyone like you before.
I'm Noelle Kurigakuri, one of the hero slayers. I've taken quite an interest in you. If you'd like something better than working in the mines, then come with me. I vow to treat you much better than any other slave here.
Little did I know that beyond that pretty face, things would go from bad to worse. On paper, you'd think serving under an immaculate creature like Noelle would be a blessing and not a curse. However, after serving under her long enough, I actually missed working in the mines.
All right, my little manservant. Your task is a rather simple one. simply cater to my each and every whim. Especially when it comes to mundane tasks. Understand?
Wait. What?
Ike, we've talked about this before. When it comes to direct orders from your superiors, your only response is supposed to be yes ma'am and yes sir. So, let's try again.
Yes, ma'am, Lady Noel. It shall be as you command.
Now, that's more like it. Keep this up and you'll get even further into my good side.
Little did Noel know how much her previous statement came back to bite her. After months of working under Noel, the pseudo from before approached the workers for another special assignment. An assignment I'm pretty sure you're all familiar with.
I'm actually surprised you're still alive after all this time, Slave. I have another task that needs to be done, and I'm only looking for the best mine workers to accompany me on this trip.
A trip? Where?
There appears to be another mine shop located far east in Iron Ore Village that houses the legendary green emerald we're searching for. Judging from the good reports Noel said about you, I assume you can be trusted to lead this place for a little field trip, correct? We'll be heading off first thing in the morning. Don't be late.
Yes, sir. I promise to arrive on time. I immediately did as instructed and donned my old worker clothes and got rid of that hot monkey suit I was forced to wear for Noel. I'm pretty sure you all know the rest afterwards.
My goodness, Ike, compared to your story, mine was just a bunch of people used to following trends and listening to monkey music. Your determination is astounding.
You think so? If you ask me, I still believe the princess had it worse than I did. To literally lose your parents, kingdom, a previous team and retainer has to be stifling. Especially when people call you Princess Blacklist or the Cursed Damsel.
I agree. All of those lost lives are beyond irreplaceable. You all are the only people I have in this world. The mere thought of losing any more. It's unimaginable. My heart would literally rip apart. Justin, despite what was said and done to both you and your partner, your team is pretty amazing.
Really? You think so? Thanks.
Just recently, you've accomplished what no other hero I've known of ever doing. Despite being undermanned and inexperienced, your team actually faced the hero slayers and lived to tell about it.
Well, we technically didn't face them. We all only literally survived because Klein made the ultimate sacrifice. So if anything, the full credit goes to him.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
And on the subject of Klein, Fidelia and I discussed something together. We did some thinking and we thought...
No. Don't tell me. Your team is going to leave me too. That's so unfair. I literally told you everything and that's what I get in return. How could you?
No, this can't be. Are you actually quitting?
What? No. Who said anything about quitting? Please, listen before you jump to any conclusions the next time. We were saying that it's about time we redo our vows. Lady Violet, if you'd allow us, I, Justin McDonald, along with my teammates, Ike and Fidelia, would like to become your new retainers.
Wait. Are you serious?
Dead serious. Klein's sacrifice inspired us more than you'll ever know. We just want to continue to fight where he left off.
Yes. Please. I need you all now, more than ever before. The thought of doing this all alone feels like a fate worse than death. Even so, I have no choice but to fight for his sake. Otherwise, his death was in vain.
Awesome. Now that we got off what was on everybody's chest, I think it's about time we leave this cave and head for Esteban first thing in the morning. Are you with me, team?
Absolutely, partner. I'll follow wherever you go.
Yes, the team's back in action.
Yes. I'll fight for them and I'll fight for you all too.
Alright, now we're talking. Let's go out there and make some things happen.
The next morning, the four left bright and early heading to Esteban.
And sure enough, the four set out to Esteban early that morning to get a fresh start for their journey ahead. With this new sense of community, everyone on their side needed each other to survive unanimously. So they worked hard together to get where they needed to go. Although I don't quite remember there being a dog there, but hey, that works too.